Locomotive engineers and conductors are part of the bread and butter of any railroad operation. The engineer operates the train, of course, controlling the speed and train forces, staying mindful of signals and indications for a safe ride. The conductor coordinates the movements of the train, coupling and uncoupling cars as needed, operating switches and air brakes and more. All of it keeping the country on track, literally. This, as our Working on the Railroad series continues this morning. Tim Coley never saw himself working for the railroad.
Honestly, I wanted to grow up to be a police officer.
But he always saw himself in a position of service.
And I actually joined the military and went to be a cop in the military.
It's funny how life works sometimes. Instead of becoming a police officer, Coley's been with the Texas Northwestern Railway in Sunray for 12 years, working as a locomotive engineer and conductor.
You run the locomotive, you move cars, forward or backwards, you do what your conductor says. He's in charge of the train, but you just move the car, make the moves for him. You do it safely, make sure you don't run through switches, keep the cars on the track is the main goals.
On the day we were able to visit, Coley, conductor Jose Escobar, and a trainee were sorting cars and building a train for its service to the Valero plant. It's a process called switching, sorting cars on designated tracks, preparing for loading or unloading, forwards, backwards, working the handbrakes, coupling cars, connecting air hoses used to send air throughout the train for braking purposes, uncoupling cars and hoses. It happens all day, every day on the TXNW, doing it safely and efficiently.
They request cars, and they send it to us, and then they give us a switch list, and we come out here and we pull the cars they request, so that the cars can go in the plant in the evening time and get switched.
On the other side of the cab, the conductor, responsible for coordinating train movements.
He's in charge of cutting cars, switching, getting the correct cars that need to go, for example, in the industry, telling the engineer, take it forward, back it up, throwing switches, building your trains, setting cars in industries.
Escobar, much like Coley, never really saw himself working on the railroad.
It was actually brought up by my wife. My wife asked me, he's like, hey, there's a job out there called TXNW Railway. They're looking for an engineer. I always thought about a site engineer, just building engineer, and I was like, yeah, that'd be fun. So I came out here and I realized that an engineer is an engineer that actually drives a train.
But he's here now and says he loves every minute of it.
Yeah, I really do enjoy being a conductor. Moving around, just being physical.
Moving around, something that happens daily on the TXNW.
We have one local, well, what you would consider a local. We have one outbound train that gets delivered every day, and we have one inbound that gets delivered every day, Monday through Friday. BN will deliver us a train on Sunday, and we'll pull that back, but we deliver Monday through Friday every day.
It's plenty of movement, servicing plenty of customers across several different industries. But the main goal?
Safety for the guys on the ground and everybody around us in the crew.
Working on the railroad all the livelong day. Coming up tomorrow, as we continue our Working on the Railroad series, we'll roll along with the hardworking men and women who keep the very track these trains operate on in good condition. To keep track with the whole Working on the Railroad series, you know where to go, myhighplains.com. Coming up early.